Hello, everyone. My name is Aminat. I am a Tableau developer with Colaberry. Today, I'm going to be talking about a touching issue, which is police killing. So we were basically given a data to paint a picture about the data, to analyze the data, to find out exactly what's going on uh, with this police killing that has been going on. How many of you have heard or seen this individual right here? We all know about him and we all know about the police shooting. We all know what happened and how it sparked so much social unrest. So when I got the data, I basically was told to come up with a KPI. Now, for me, what I wanted my KPI to project were basically with all this unrest and riots and just all the problems going on with the police killing, I had to ask myself that one, there has been several police killings involving minorities, especially Blacks and Browns in the communities, which has definitely resulted in several demonstrations. And I wanted to know if there was any systemic racism going on with these killings. Are there any underlying factors involved? What is causing all this killing? Could this killing be averted? So with those questions in mind, I basically came up with some major 3 KPIs indicators. The first one I basically came up with was the total death. I wanted to know within a specific data set given to me, I needed to know the total deaths involved between 2015 to 2020. Then I wanted to know the year-over-year killing that has happened. And I also wanted to know, with these killings, are the police officers having their body cams on or are the body cams being turned off? So I specifically wanted to know which of these killings, what percentage had the body cams on? So these are the KPIs that I basically came out with. So with my data set, I looked through the data set. When I got the data set, at first I put it into ETL to see if I can clean the data up. But after looking through the data a little bit closer, I realized I actually didn't need to use an ETL. I can just basically use an Excel spreadsheet, and whatever changes that needs to be done, I can do it on the Excel spreadsheet. So this is basically an overview of what the dashboard looks like. So before we go into the dashboard, I just wanted to explain the colors. The blue represents the total debt. The year over year is in purple, while the percentage with the police killing was basically gray with the body cam on. So this is the actual dashboard. So you can see over here that the total deaths within this data was about 4,895. And the year over year on average from 2015 to 2020 was about 56.41%. That's a lot. And check this out, the percent with body cam on was only 11.81%. And the color gradients, so the darker represents basically the more numbers and the lighter represents the less numbers. So what I realized while doing my research, basically, let me go back to my presentation. Was that, and I have my slide over there as well. You can move year to year, you can compare 2 years, but I want to focus on a couple of years. So I realized that in 2019, there was 858 total deaths, whereas in 2020, within this data set, we had 374 deaths. To me, that was something huge that I felt like I needed to basically point out. So what I noticed is that with total deaths, it reduced basically, excuse me, let me go back. It reduced drastically between 2019 from 858 to 374. So that's a 56% reduction versus the previous year. And the negatives that I noticed in there is that with the percent of body cam on, we can go back to the dashboard. I like to show it on the dashboard so we can all see it together. With the age range, we can see that in 2020, there was no body count on for the police killing of our senior citizens from 60 to 69 years old. There was absolutely no body cam on. Whereas in 2019, it was 10.26% body cam that was turned on. That is 100% increase. Whereas in the previous year, there was only an increased percentage of about 18.18%. Now, the problems I encountered while trying to create this dashboard is basically the following. Most of the data was basically dimensional. So that, and before we can create a report, you want to make sure that you have a facts and a dimension table. So I had to create a few calculated fields to come up with my facts table. And as I stated before, I tried using ETL, but ETL was not the proper tool for me for this particular project. So I just stood with Excel. And also creating the appropriate KPIs. There were so many things that I wanted to point out in the KPIs, but I eventually just narrowed it down to 3 major KPIs. And what is my recommendation for this? I recommend that 1, there needs to be, excuse me. There needs to be training in the police department. We need to train the police to use different means of method to subdue the victims. We don't always have to shoot the victims or use lethal methods to subdue them. We can come up with a different method, just like some of those methods are used in prisons or used in schools. We can implement those with the victims. We need to also find out, are these police officers, are these men and women of the law, are they mentally fit to be police officers? Is it okay for us to give them weapons to go outside? Are they able to basically, do they have self-control? And then the third recommendation that I recommend for the police force is there needs to be some form of maybe a test that can assess if a particular individual has systemic racism or has the tendencies to be a racist or has racist tendencies. So those are my recommendations for this particular project. And please, guys, let's not forget these people that were impacted during this whole problem. So that's pretty much my presentation.
Okay. All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo, woo! All right, Celeste, what you got for us?
Man, this is going to be tight. I really enjoyed your presentation, Aminat. It was a very methodical presentation. You walked us through how you came up with your KPIs. I love the KPI of percentage with body cam on. Not only that, you gave us an insight, and with the insight, you showed us that there were less killings in 2020, and you also derived that it could be that there were more there were more officers with body cams on. So that could have been an influence, right? I just thought that it was really well thought out. You gave us insights, you gave us suggestions at the end. Your cadence was so controlled. I really enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, no improvements.